Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. I have sun shining right in my face, which is maybe not ideal, but on the other hand it's gonna remind me of Bangkok, where the sun was always shining on my face. To sort of honor the last couple of months that I spent living in Bangkok, I decided to film this little Q&A session where I'll answer some of the most commonly asked questions that I get about Bangkok. Basically everything from the safety in Bangkok to my living expenses, my rent, my favorite places to hang out in Bangkok, and yeah, all that kind of stuff. Would you recommend me to move to Bangkok? Yes. Would you recommend me to study at Chulalongkorn University? Yes. No, but to be completely honest with you, it is a little difficult for me and for anyone else pretty much to recommend something to someone you don't know. So for some reason a lot of people ask me if I would like recommend them to do this, if I would like fully recommend them to do this, which is like also a little bit stressful for me. I mean, not stressful, but you know, I mean, I cannot fully recommend, I cannot fully guarantee that you'll have as much fun living in Bangkok and going to Chula as I had. We're all different people and we all like different things. All I can tell you is that I absolutely love my experience living in Bangkok. I really enjoy going to Chula. And that's why I decided to come back. I basically lived in Bangkok like 2 years ago. I did my semester abroad at Chulalongkorn University, and then later on when I did my MBA at IFA Paris, I decided to go to Bangkok and lived there for a couple of months to write my MBA thesis in Bangkok. Since at that time I was living in Paris, and obviously Bangkok is way more affordable than Paris, and I just always had that dream of coming back to Bangkok. So that's why I decided to come back. So obviously I freaking love this city. I wouldn't decide to come back if I wouldn't love Bangkok. But yeah, as I said, fully recommending something to someone you don't even know is really difficult. Do you feel safe in Bangkok / do you think Bangkok is safe for women? So this is a very commonly asked question. I got it like 3 times or something. No, but obviously I do think that this is like an interesting topic. Do I feel safe in Bangkok? Yes, I always felt very safe in Bangkok. Nothing bad ever happened to me. Nothing bad ever happened to any of my friends. And I never experienced anything that would make me feel uncomfortable. You know, I never had any situation where I would feel in danger or uncomfortable. I never experienced anyone like catcalling me or like, you know, doing whatever. So in general, I would say that Bangkok is a pretty safe city. However, at the same time, I do feel like it's really difficult to say what's safe and what is not safe. When it comes to big cities like Bangkok, obviously, well, the danger is there. It is a huge city and shit happens in huge cities. You know, there are neighborhoods that are more dangerous. There are neighborhoods that are less dangerous. That's the way it is. In general, downtown Bangkok is not a dangerous area. You can, well, obviously during the day you can easily walk around as a woman by yourself. Even at night in like the downtown area where there are a lot of people, I would see a lot of women walking around, taking metro in the evenings by themselves, taking cabs in the evening by themselves. It's not really an issue in Bangkok. So for example, like comparing Bangkok to Paris where I used to live, I feel like Bangkok is more safe. I personally unfortunately know a lot of people who experience getting robbed or even getting like physically assaulted in Paris. I don't know anyone who experienced that in Bangkok, which again, I want to, you know, emphasize, it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen in Bangkok. It's a very big city. There are 15 million people living in Bangkok, and shit happens in big cities like that. The truth is that unfortunately shit happens everywhere. How to make friends in Bangkok as a foreigner? I personally never had issue making friends in Thailand, but to be honest, I don't think I'm the best person to ask, because both times around when I lived in Thailand, the first time around I went to university, so obviously that's where you meet people. The second time around I actually came to Bangkok with like, how many were we? 3 of my friends, so we were a group of 4 staying in the same building, and then we made some other friends as well, but I think it was just easier. Obviously I was there with a group of my girlfriends, but if you're coming to Bangkok all alone and you're not gonna go to university, My best advice would be probably to stay somewhere similar to where I stayed. So both times when I lived in Bangkok, I stayed at non-touristy residence. So non-touristy residence is basically just like this apartment building, but it is a known place for foreigners to stay when they're like, you know, doing an internship in Bangkok or going to school. Basically, it's mostly for young people. I mean, it's not like you have to be young, but most of people staying at non-touristy are young people, so the vibes are very young. It's like a lot of partying and yeah, just a lot of partying in general. So if you like peaceful environment, non-touristy might be not the greatest place, but if you're a young person coming to Bangkok, it is a great place to stay because that's definitely a place where you can meet other expats and other foreigners. It's just extremely easy to meet people. You just go down to the pool, you meet people, you go to the gym, you meet people, you chill in garage. So we had this like area, like we had this restaurant in our building in non-touristy. We would call it garage, well, because it was a garage. And you just go down and chill there, and there are other people there, and everyone speaks English. So it is really easy to meet people. So yeah, I mean, stay at non-touristy, and if you don't want to stay at non-touristy, then I don't know, go out. I would meet people by going out. I would go out what? Okay, did you see my secret notes? You better don't. Other way to meet friends in Bangkok is obviously by going out, or at least that's something I did. I would often get to know random people when I went out. In general, I feel like Thai people are pretty like open-minded and they're pretty friendly to foreigners. So I would often end up talking to random people when I would go out. And if you're alone in Bangkok, that's also a great way to meet people, but that's obviously a great way to meet people anywhere in the world. Okay, actually that can be like another question. Some people ask me if it's difficult to get by in Bangkok if you only know English, and my answer to this would be no. It is not difficult. I unfortunately don't speak Thai, but I would love to speak Thai if I ever come back to Bangkok, which I really hope will happen. I'll definitely get a little bit more serious about learning Thai. Yeah, but if you don't know Thai in Bangkok, it's definitely not an issue. I would say in general, Thai people are very good at English. Majority of people will speak English pretty well, so just like getting by, you know, taking taxis, ordering food, or asking for directions shouldn't be a problem at all. Going out, a lot of young Thai people speak really good English as well. So in general, I don't think it's a problem. I feel like for me, it was definitely less of a problem than in Paris or in Shanghai. But of course, at the end of the day, Thai is the local language. And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, not knowing the local language can always be a little difficult. What were your monthly expenses living in Bangkok? Okay, so when it comes to monthly expenses, I would say that rent is usually the most expensive thing, and my rent was 12,000 baht, and I lived in a 30 square meters studio apartment. Is it expensive for Bangkok? No. I remember when I lived in Bangkok the first time around, which was when was it? Whatever, like 2 years ago. I remember some people telling me that, oh, this is like pretty expensive for Bangkok standards, but to be honest, I've researched prices, rent prices in Bangkok right now. This is not expensive at all if you want to live in central area, and where I lived was pretty central. If you want to live in like a nice apartment, my apartment was just, apartment was just a studio, right? But if you want to live in a nice place, your rent is going to be way more than that. Of course, Bangkok is a huge city, so if you're fine with living a little bit outside of the city or not like in the center, you're obviously gonna pay less. But to be completely honest with you, I do think that in general, people have this perception of Bangkok being cheaper than it actually is. I met some people saying, you know, shit like, oh, I'll earn like $500 and live like a king in Thailand. And that is definitely not true. You're not gonna live like a king in Thailand for $500. Like maybe, you know, 20 years ago, but not anymore. Bangkok is definitely getting so much more expensive than it used to be. It's a very like fast developing booming city, and yeah, the prices are definitely going up constantly. It is a little difficult for me to say what were my like monthly expenses because it was really different from month to month, but I can give you some like general prices just to give you an idea how much things are in Bangkok. So a street food lunch would be around 60 baht, which is 1.8 euro. Western slash Italian, because pizza is Italian pizza would be around 400 baht, which is 12 euro. A cinema ticket would be around 7.5 euro, and a single MRT aka metro ticket would be anywhere between 16 to 40 to even up to 70 baht depending how far you go. But if you're just like moving in the central area, it's going to be around 14 baht, which is very cheap. It is only 48 cents. In general, transportation in Bangkok is pretty cheap. So going from my place to Siam Paragon, which was maybe around 5 kilometers, would cost me around 70 to 80 baht, which is 2.5 euro. But I must say my monthly expenses really depended on how much Western food I would eat. In general, if you just eat Thai food, if you just like eat, well, street food is really cheap. But the more Western products you buy at supermarket, meaning, you know, yogurt, whatever, muesli, milk, bread, it's very easily available in Bangkok. All bigger supermarkets offer these products, but then often they are significantly more expensive. I hope that this gave you like a general overview over prices in Bangkok. If you have any questions about something specific, just leave me a comment, and if I know, I'll try to answer. Is finding a job in Bangkok difficult for foreigners? The reason why I moved to Bangkok the second time around was to write my MBA thesis, but it was also to find a job in Bangkok. I always really wanted to work in Bangkok after graduating, which unfortunately didn't happen. I am sitting in my apartment in Warsaw right now, so Bangkok didn't happen to me. Didn't happen for me. Didn't happen. Bangkok didn't happen. I left Bangkok. That's why some people are asking me if it's difficult to find a job in Bangkok as a foreigner. So to be honest, it is a difficult question because it all depends on the industry you're interested in. If you want to teach English, maybe it's not that difficult. If you are in, I don't know, like IT or something, in like industry where there's a lot of demand, then maybe it's not that difficult. In general, if you're looking for not entry-level positions, it is of course going to be easier. For me, I was looking into like marketing positions in luxury industry or in fashion industry or like influencer marketing. And yeah, I unfortunately didn't find anything. I didn't manage to get a job in Bangkok, but to be honest, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's difficult. Yes, it is not extremely easy if you don't speak Thai and you don't have that much work experience, but that is the case everywhere. It's always going to be harder for a foreigner to find a job. Do you know what I mean? What I mean is that if you don't have a working permit, if you don't have a working visa, it's always going to be harder for you to find a job in that country because you have to find a job first and then you usually apply for a work permit or work visa. It's always a complicated process, you know? It doesn't matter what country it is. In general, I searched for a job in Bangkok for maybe like over a month, I would say. After a month and a half, I started recruitation process for the job that I have right now in Warsaw, and that was pretty much where I sort of like gave up looking for jobs in Bangkok. I just realized at this point that it would be maybe a little bit more beneficial for me to go back to Europe and find the first job after graduating in Europe and then eventually move to Asia when I have a little bit more experience. What are your favorite non-touristy things to do in Bangkok? So I was like, oh my god, I have to make a video about it. Obviously, great topic. But then I realized that I pretty much do the same things over and over again. So there is just like not that much to talk about. My favorite non-touristy things to do in Bangkok are probably just going to Lumpini Park for a walk or for an evening run, hanging out at the pool bar at Seoul Sofitel, going to Siam Paragon to eat or to cinema. I love going to cinema. Look at that cinema, how grand it is. It looks like we're in a ball hall. Mar and I were going to cinema to see. We're going to cinema. We are in a cinema. Look at that popcorn. That popcorn is the size of my head. Literally, it's bigger than my head. How nice. And Mar was like bullying me for saying that I'm gonna get big popcorn, and then
Look
There
at
was
her.
a
Look at
20
her.
difference. It's worth the price.
I think going to see a Thai movie in a cinema can be a really great experience also for tourists, because it's just like a nice way to sort of get to know Thailand more and the culture. And there are a lot of cinemas in Bangkok that offer Thai movies with English subtitles, like Siam Paragon. Also the cinema at, what is it called, Terminal 21 or MBK. So yeah, I mean, these are pretty much the non-touristy things I do in Bangkok. To be honest, I'm not that adventurous. My legs are dying. Can I do a Q&A like this? That is kind of cool. Where to eat in Bangkok? For more traditional Thai food, I would say JO. It's nearby Lumpini Park, my favorite area. For like more hip, modern, try the Commons in Sukhumvit. For a nice river view, the Deck. And for a nice Grand Palace / Wat Po view, try Riva Arun. For street food, I would usually eat street food at my own street. If you're downtown, try the area around Lumpini Park. On the west side of Lumpini Park, you usually have these like little street food stalls where you can get really nice street food. And if you need AC, go to Siam Paragon. On the ground floor, they have basically the whole floor is just food, and there are a lot of different food options. Oh, and Chinatown is another nice area for street food. Where to go on a day trip from Bangkok, or in general, places nearby to travel. So the best place for a day trip is probably Ayutthaya. It's like the old capital of Thailand. It's basically known for the temples. There are a lot of like ancient temples in Ayutthaya. Another nice place with a beach is Hua Hin. So, I mean, Hua Hin, the beaches in Hua Hin are not as nice as on the islands, but this is like the nearest beach to Bangkok. It's like Pattaya, but I would not recommend you to go to Pattaya. Otherwise, nice islands like nearby Bangkok where you don't have to fly. I would say Koh Samet and Koh Chang. Both of these places are like few hundred kilometers away from Bangkok, and you can get there by bus. And buses are also a really affordable way to travel in Thailand. As to Koh Chang, how much did I pay? I would imagine I paid like around 200 baht, like max 300 baht one way. And the final question, this is pretty much for those of you who care about my life. If you don't care, don't listen. Bangkok or Shanghai? So I used to live in Shanghai. That's why people ask me if I prefer Bangkok or Shanghai. And my answer to this question is I really do not know, and I really don't want to choose. Don't make me choose. I think they're both really great cities, and it's really hard to choose because they're so different. In general, I would say that Shanghai is a little easier because it's just a little bit more modern. The transportation is easier. The metro is like really advanced, and there's just metro everywhere in Shanghai. Where in Bangkok, it's a little bit of a hassle to get around the city. Plus the weather in Bangkok, it's both a nice thing because I really like the, you know, the holiday vibes. I like the fact that in Bangkok you have a pool and it's always warm. I really like that weather. A lot of people dislike that, but I think, yeah, I think it's nice. And in Shanghai, it's cold, but at the same time, seasons can be more fun, and you don't really have any seasons in Bangkok. It's like pretty much just freaking hot all year long. But to be honest, when people ask me this question, it pretty much depends on my mood. Sometimes I say Shanghai, sometimes I say Bangkok, and I don't really know. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any more questions, just let me know and I will try to answer them in the comments. And yeah, subscribe to my channel. Did I say that? If I didn't, please subscribe, and I hopefully see you soon. Bye.